I'm not even kidding. Somebody told me that I should do this as a covered bridge. What's going on, guys? By myself today. I know it's been a while since that's happened recently. Usually anytime I go out it's because I'm with other people, but just going out by myself, going to meet up with a buddy of mine who lives back in Akron, but he's out here visiting family. So I'm going to go out and visit him since he's out this way. Figured why not go out there and say hello. But wanted to talk about something that's that just kind of grinds my gears. And I know I've talked about this in a video in the past in a roundabout way, but it's just getting kind of ridiculous, and it really just, it kind of upsets me. And the genre of the topic is personal responsibility for your decisions before your actions, and living with the consequences of those actions and not making it seem as though it's not your fault, okay? And I'm gonna hop here and get fuel, so I'm gonna pause for a second once I get there, and then I'll continue when I get back on the road. RPSTV. Now, I know he gets a bad rap for some of the things he does. I find him fairly entertaining. Thought I made it. I wasn't sure if I was going to. I was pretty low last ride. I kept pushing it, and then I just changed my coolant, which requires you to run the bike and idle for several minutes. And I did that several times as I flushed the coolant through the system. And I just wasn't sure if I was going to have enough. 4 gallons or so. But anyway, as I'm filling up here, I'll continue the story since I'm gonna hop on the highway here shortly, and probably not gonna get the greatest of audio. But RPSTV posted a crash that he had recently, and of course, in typical motovlogger fashion, he then also posts a GoFundMe, and he has this sob story that the bike was slipping. And step one is, when you know you have a problem, get it fixed. And if you don't get it fixed, don't have a sob story because something happened as a result of not getting something fixed. Like, I'm not saying you have to get it fixed. Do what you got to do. But what I'm saying is, you know, let's just say you get a flat tire and you put a donut on your car. Well, you know you're supposed to, come on, bitch. This fucking thing is getting stuck. God damn. Probably have to put some graphite in there or something. If you put a donut on your car so you can get home, and then you get home and you don't go and buy a replacement tire, like, and then eventually that tire's only good for, I think they say, up to 50 miles for the most part. Like, if you don't get that fixed and you keep riding on that donut because you're lazy and you're just like, it's working, it's a tire, and then you're on the highway and it blows out and you're stranded, people shouldn't feel bad for you. Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So that's step one. Is if you have a problem with your bike or a problem with your vehicle and you keep letting it go and then something happens, nobody should feel sorry for you. Secondly, like, we carry insurance for a reason. I know it's expensive. Hey, guess what? My insurance for my vehicles is like $500 a month. I pay $200+ for each my Pilot and for this because I don't have the greatest driving record. I don't have fabulous credit. So and then the GSXr 1000 is like one of the highest insurance cost bike, you know. But I carry it because if something happens, I'll be covered. I carry medical insurance, so if something happens, I'll be covered. If you choose to be a motovlogger, to be a content creator, you're making the choice that you're not going to take corporate companies' help when it comes to getting medical insurance. So you're kind of footing the bill just as though you're the corporation. Yes, it's expensive, but it's part of doing business. When something bad happens, if you choose not to carry insurance, it's not anyone's fault but your own. You shouldn't have a sob story where, oh my god, I had an accident, I don't have insurance, I need help. Like, that's not how this works. It's no different than somebody on welfare who's capable of working but choosing not to work, getting assistance from people. Like, my tax dollars shouldn't go to people who are capable of working and just choosing not to. Just as though you choose not to have insurance, you shouldn't ask people. And yes, you're going to have the backlash of, well, if you don't want to help, don't help. I'm certainly not going to help, but my point is, you're guilting people into doing it. It's just not the right thing to do. Whether or not I have the option of doing it or not, it's still just not a right thing to do in general. So why would you ask somebody to do that? It's just, that shit grinds my gears like no other. Take some personal responsibility. If you choose not to carry insurance, you face the responsibility when you get into an accident, or if something, you know, seriously bad happens to you. Is it sad? Is it unfortunate? Yes. But it's not the responsibility of others to remedy because you failed to uphold your end of the agreement. This guy looks legitimately like Yami Noob. Kind of strange. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, I know the GoFundMe thing's been overplayed and people get upset about it and it's silly, and I know it's got its time and its place for certain things, and it does. But it's for those time and places when you're doing the things you're supposed to do and something tragically bad happens to you, that's where the time and place is. The worst part is you don't even own up to it. You don't even say like, yeah, I didn't have insurance. You have some sob story about, oh, well, they didn't take it out and I tried to fight with you. No, you didn't, because you just replayed the actual incident where you're getting assistance from the paramedics and you don't want help because you told them that you didn't have insurance. So you knew you didn't have insurance. It's not a question of whether or not you thought you had insurance. You knew you didn't pay for your premium because you told the guy that it was too expensive. How do I know that? Because in the video, in the paramedic, in the actual ambulance, he says to you, I know how difficult it is and how expensive insurance is, and I know it's difficult when you can't afford it. AKA, you had somehow mentioned to him that you couldn't afford the insurance. Now, I'm not blaming you. If you can't afford insurance, that's one thing. But admit it. Say, hey, you know, they wanted X amount of dollars a month in insurance. I can't afford that. Don't say, oh, I thought they were doing it, this and that. Just making up a lie. Because now you're asking for donations based upon a lie, which I believe federally is an illegal offense. But, you know, I'm not concerned about it because, you know, it is my, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. I just disagree with it. I actually find him fairly entertaining. I don't agree necessarily with all the things that he does. Sometimes I find things that I wouldn't do entertaining. Why? Because I wouldn't do those things. You know, so I could find entertainment out of it, and I can support the channel by viewing his videos. And I certainly don't dislike his videos as a result of his... I get tired of people, things happening to them. They want to blame the world because things happen to them. One of the best things I ever saw was Shade Tree Surgeon, who literally has all the reasons in the world, like he mentioned in one of his most recent videos, because things are happening to him and his girlfriend that he can't control. Yet he tells you, oh, I'm staying positive, you know, I'm thankful for the things that he has, that he's better off than most people, because he actually, like, appreciates the things that he has. He actually does the things that he's supposed to make sure that he's supporting his family. You know, he's taking responsibility by the horns. But I don't want to continue ranting on this topic. I just, that stuff just kind of, I don't want to keep saying the same term, grind your gears, but it does. It hits somewhere deep. Like, take some responsibility. The decisions you make, you live with the consequences. That's one of the things that my dad taught me growing up, was no choices without consequences. And that's true. Any choice you make is going to have some sort of consequence, whether it be a good consequence or a bad consequence. If you make choices that lead to bad consequences, nobody should feel sorry for you. And I don't want to sound emotionless, but I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I thank you if you're still here. Camera's still recording. Thumbs up to that. As always, guys, stay safe out there. Keep that rubber side down. Enjoy the moment. And until the next video, we'll catch y'all later.